Hey, how you doing, Daniel? We're as tides in the writer's life. It is a cold, damp Monday morning in South West London. Back from a run, a jog, better than last week. Thankfully, because I found last week difficult. Not back to the standards of a couple of weeks ago, but certainly an improvement. Finding it hard running when it's this cold, different challenges. I find the wind disorientating. I'm wearing a hat, but I can feel the wind rushing in my ears. I don't have any running gear at all. I don't have any tracksuit bottoms with a seal up pocket for my keys. I'm paranoid about losing the keys. And so I'm still wearing shorts, and it is nippy. And also, back in the summer when it was warm, even though I don't like engaging with neighbours when I'm out in shorts, if I'd run into a neighbour on my way out of the building and they were coming in, I could just make out that I was just popping across the road to get some milk. Now in this kind of weather, and there's a few keep fit guys here, keep fit guys here, and they might see me in shorts thinking, oh, this guy's going running. Let's try and get an idea of how fit he is. Let's keep an eye on when he comes back. They could be looking out their windows, seeing me come back in 15, 20 minutes and gauge how, what stage my stamina is at. But, the important thing, I suppose, is that I'm maintaining this discipline. It kind of, it does help me. I found last week a bit of a challenge. There was one morning where I had to take some tests, and I was told I was below average, which was completely unexpected. I passed two of the tests easily. The third one, below average, I was shocked. I felt I did well to pass two of the tests, given these tests had been thrown on me, and I was trying to think under what circumstances is below average good, and I couldn't really, well, I suppose a below average chance of having a heart attack. That's a positive below average. Below average, as I was told I was below average, that wasn't a good below average. And that kind of, I was thinking, how many more of these moments do I have to have, before things become consistently good? Because at the moment, there's a good thing, there's a bad thing, there's a good thing, there's a bad thing. And last week was pretty much like that. There was a writing setback, I think, on the Wednesday. And these things now really put me in a dark mood. I used to deal with them a lot better when I was younger. And then on Friday, there was positive news with regards to some writing project. I think there's a slight tremor there. So got the jog out of the way, going to head off for a morning of coffee and writing. Had a dream that really worried me. I was in a very expensive restaurant with the Fonz, who was the most popular work colleague that I ever worked with. If you were a listener of my Daniel Ruiz Tyson is Available podcast some years ago, you might remember the Fonz was the most popular colleague I've ever worked with, as I told you and just a few moments ago. And I don't know what had happened to the Fonz. I think prior to my arrival, he'd possibly run into trouble with one or two bosses. So he was sat with my new team, but he wasn't part of that team. And I was just terrible at that job. He was obviously the most popular guy, I think, in the building. And that Christmas, the amount of Christmas cards he got, and I think I had one or two maybe, which I shouldn't have had really, because I just started, I think, in October. So that's October to December. That's not, that's not enough time to get you onto a Christmas card swapping status. And I don't think the Fonz got me a card, and I don't think I got him one. I think there was a mutual respect there for making that decision. But I was in this restaurant with the Fonz. I was aware from having worked with him in the real world that he was quite an extravagant guy, a social animal. He wasn't, he was a subtle extrovert. He wasn't a very showy guy. I don't think he was very demonstrative, but people gravitate towards him. He was a likable guy. You couldn't dislike him. But I would imagine that if you were part of his social circle, it could become an expensive thing. I didn't have the social skills to become part of that social circle, but in a way I'm glad, because I was trying to save up at the time to move into the latest flat, and I really did need to focus. But anyway, we picked up, the Fonz and I, we were walking through an underpass And he got chatting to a couple of guys. They came along to the restaurant with us. They were all ordering food. I was thinking, who are these two guys? You know, did the Fonz know them? And I was trying to, as I was eating, thinking, how much is this all going to come to? Is there a chance of divvying it up? We all pay for what we've ordered ourselves. Is that going to make me come across as frugal? Which, you know, the answer, of course, would be yes. I'm sure the Fonz would have been disappointed in me if I'd gone down that route. Thankfully, just as the waiter was bringing the bill, I woke up. I'd had a bad night's sleep. I woke up around 4 in the morning, then I got up just after 6, wanted to get cracking with the day. The dream reminded me a little of, you know, the admin side of dating. Even when I was a kid, even when I was sharing the marital bed with my dad, the idea of dating, the formalities of it always bothered me. It was the trying to come up with somewhere, some place exciting to go to, which I knew wasn't really me. I'm not that kind of guy. So straight away, a potential relationship is, you're given a misleading impression if you're like me. And I'd also then, you know, so that side of my life would work better with the writing side of things, try to find cheaper venues for a first date. You know, you didn't want to set the bar too high. You didn't want the person to think you were loaded. But there were instances where my cheaper choice of venues were completely cast aside and the girl would then choose a much pricier venue, which I thought was short-sighted, because it meant that I would then have to go and earn the money to take them out again. So there would be a gap in the dating. Any familiarity you might have built up on the first date, you have to start again from scratch. And also, it just wasn't realistic to think that I was going to be able to pay, you know, those ridiculous amounts to go out eating in restaurants all the time. You know, it's nice to have these dates occasionally, but not all the time. So yeah, I was just relieved. I was relieved to wake up in time before that bill came through, because I think that would have been, you know, I think that would have hurt me, hurt my pockets. It was just a dream, but you know, it was an alarming dream. If I come back, if there is reincarnation, I think I have to come back as someone who doesn't really worry about this life, as someone who wouldn't be adverse to, you know, writing, you know, rubbish like soaps just to keep the money coming in regularly. You know, and then you can go and sit in restaurants and not worry about whatever the bill is going to come to. If you do enjoy this video, if you've enjoyed what's on this channel, do please click the subscribe button. Let's get these numbers up. I hope you have a good day. Please share and like these videos with people you know, maybe influencers. Maybe you know some 23-year-old influencer who can, you know, get the word out about this channel. So subscribe. Enjoy your day.